Welcome back, everybody, to another video here with Kyle Chris, and we finally got the red decks to be added to DBS deck planning, meaning I can actually go in and make the videos. So I was kind of waiting for them to add everything to DBS Deck Planet, so that it makes these videos a little bit easier to just kind of make a one foul swoop here. So we're gonna start off with 17 and 18, new red deck coming out in set 23. When this card attacks, look up to the top 5 cards of your deck and then add up to 1 red android card to your hand, which is very good. You can search out any red android. Keep in mind this doesn't say mono red android, so like I know red-green androids are currently not a thing. Red-blue androids are somewhat maybe a thing. So there is some interesting implications for that. Red-yellow, I don't think that exists either. Activate main, add up to 1 red Android 20 card with an cost of 1 from your deck to your hand. Shuffle, and then negate this skill for the game. So you can actually grab the 1-drop Android 20, which you are going to need for your deck to kind of function in the early game. And when your life is at 4 less, or if you have 2 or more energy and a destroyed west city in your battle area, draw 2 and then take life down until you have 6. So we have another, just a draw 2 and then strike down the 6 life. So not a hybrid awakening. Now on the other side, we have Android 17 and 18, Future Evil. A lot of text on this card. So auto, when your Android 17 or 18 card attacks, draw 1. Meaning you can attack. You want to, realistically, you want to attack on the unawakened side. Do all your stuff, awaken, and then swing with another 17 or 18 cards. You get another draw. So it's pretty cool. Activate main, choose up to 1 of your Android 20 cards and KO it. Play up to 1 red 17 or 18 card with both with no keyword skills and energy costs less than or greater or equal to your energy from your hand, and that card gains barrier for the turn. Then choose it to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unison, and it gets minus 15k for the turn. So that's also very cool. So you actually can just kind of neg things off the board, or a unison, which again is very, very good. Unisons have slowly creeped their way back into the meta. Not every deck plays a unison, but a lot of decks are playing 3-drop unisons to sort of avoid themselves from getting hit by black smoke, or like the Go Bros deck that plays Demigra. So there are definitely some unisons that you can actually hit with this and be able to reduce their power. Now remember, if you do reduce the power of unison to 0, they will just lose a marker and then go back to their normal power. And then activate battle. If it's your turn, choose up to 1 of your red android cards and it gets 5k for the battle. So they did kind of nerf that a little bit. If they would have just made it choose a red android and give it 5k, activate battle once per turn. You could use this on defense for your leader to make it a 20k leader. I think that actually would have been pretty fair. I don't think that would have been broken at all. And what we're going to see is sort of this, with the next card we're going to show off, we see this kind of a new, say a draw engine, but kind of a draw engine and a play engine you have kind of built into this deck. So we have this destroyed west city, which is a Z extra card. Now this card actually can be played in the new Gohan deck, or this particular deck here that we're going to go over. So it has Z stack, either the Time Machine Departure, which is actually for that deck, or the Excel Dance Z extra card, which is going to be for this deck. So permanent, if your leader is the other red leader, which is the Son Gohan leader, or this leader, you reduce the cost of this card in your Z deck by 5, so it costs 1. And then activate main, you place 1 red or android card from your hand onto this card, and you draw a card. So this card allows you to cycle, not necessarily a draw engine, but you're able to put things underneath it. So you're not actually plussing anything, but it is a good idea to have cards underneath this. Now, you also have this card, Excel Dance, underneath this card as well. So this has activate main. If you have 4 or more energy and you place 2 of your energy in the drop, you place this card from under a destroyed west city in your battle area on top of that card. Then choose it to 1 of your Android 17 and 18 domination achieved, and it gets 5k power for the turn, which is the battle card we'll get to a little bit later in the video. Activate main, place a west destroyed city from this card, from under this card on top of this card. Then choose 1 of your red 17 cards and 1 of your red 18 cards. Play to 1 17 or 18 domination achieved from your hand or drop, and place the chosen cards under that card. So this chooses the cards from underneath it. So you need to be able to put a 17 and an 18 underneath it, and then you play out this Domination's Achieved card, which is kind of the big boss monster for the deck. So you actually have the ability of cycling into this card after turn 4 by paying 2 Z energy, and then you play this card. Then you also can cycle back into the Destroyed West City to then recharge this card, which is really, really cool. Really interesting mechanic on how they have the extra cards. So the Android 20 cards we have Android Creator and Order to Kill Goku. So both of these cards can be played for free. If you have no battle cards in play and your leader is Android 17 or 18 Future Evil, so you are the awakened side of the leader. You can play them for free, and then you can't play copies of Android 20 cards for the turn from your hand. So you cannot play any other copies of 20 cards from your hand. And then each one are essentially just a cantrip. Order to Kill Goku is a cantrip, just draws a card. And then Android Creator searches top 5 for a mono red android that costs 6 or less and adds it to your hand. So just some cycle power, being able to draw the other pieces that you need. Both are good cards, but remember you can only play them for free once. You're definitely going to want to play these cards for free after you awoken, so you're using energy for other things. I really like this mechanic. I think cantrips should, like all the new designs, it looks like. We had the same idea with Broly Saga, where the one-drop Paraguses were all just free cantrips. I really like that. I think that's a really cool way of designing these cards. We're not wasting 1 energy just to draw a card, because the game is definitely evolved past that point where that's not really a great way of building decks now, even though there's a lot of decks that have cantrips. Then we have Android 20 Creating Evil. This is the Android 20 card from your Z deck, so you can still play this card even if you use the Activate Main effect on the other cards. Once the card is played, you search top 7, place a red Android 17 or 18 among them under a Destroyed West City in your battle area, then shuffle your deck. And then if you have 3 or more energy when this card is KO'd by one of your Android card skills, play up to 1 17 or 18 with both energy costs less than or equal to your current energy and no keyword skills from under a Destroyed West City. So, concept here is that when you use your leader effect, that actually will allow you to play a 17 or an 18. And then when you kill this card using one of your Android effects, you get to play a 17 or an 18. So you're actually able to play out 2 battle cards for the price of 1 energy, which is pretty sweet. All right. So we have 2 of the androids that we can actually play. Both are infinite rotation. Both actually have the same exact effect. So when the opposite counterpart attacks, when a battle card, I should say, at the end of the battle in which one of your, so either a 17 or an 18 attacked, play this card from under a Destroyed West City in your battle area. So you actually can just tap 1 and then play one of these from underneath it. So if you attack with a 17, you can play an 18. If you attack with an 18, you can play a 17. If you attack with a card that has both of them, you can play both. And they are limit 1. And then limit 1 when this card in your hand is placed under a Destroyed West City in your battle area, place up to 1 of the counterpart from your deck under this card. So these are actually very similar to the Hyperbolic Time Chamber in the Green Gohan deck. When you place like a Vegeta underneath, you grab a Trunks from the deck and place it underneath. If you place a Goku underneath, you grab a Gohan and place it underneath. So very similar. Now this is only from your deck. Keep that in mind. You can only place these from your deck. So you tuck 1, you draw 1 off of the west, off the Destroyed West City, and then this effect will kick in. You'll just tuck the other one underneath. So it does have to be a copy of like the infinite rotation. It just needs to be a 17 or an 18, which is pretty cool. Then we have Perpetual Motion Machine. These are the 3 drops. Again, same effect for the on-play effect. They both cost 1, and when the opposite card attacks, you play them. Android 17, when it's played, you draw a card, and then this card gains double strike for the turn. Now, this card can be played off of your leader effect and off of the Android 20 effect, because these cards do not have the keyword skill. They have the keyword skill after they're played, so you do get that effect. And then Android 18, when it's played, you neg one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons 20k. And then this card gets crit. So you have a 19k crit that negs something by 20k, so it's generally going to be a removal. And then 17 draws you a card and gets double strike. So both of these are actually very good. Obviously, most decks are going to have a tandem of this double strike and crit card in some sort of capacity. So this is pretty cool as well, being able to play these guys out for 1 or being able to play them for free. I'm pretty sure both of these cards can be played for free because the cards don't have keyword skills until they're played. So then we have this Android 16 card, Prototype Android. So if you have a 17 or an 18 in play, you can play it for free. I'm sorry, you play it for 1. And then when this card is comboed with, you search top 5 and you place a 17 or an 18 underneath a destroyed West City in your battle area, then shuffle. And this card can be comboed even if it is in rest mode. So it's a 15k swing. You can also combo with it afterwards. That's pretty cool. Not a crazy broken card, just a decent support card, but it's a 16, which is kind of cool. Then we have 17 and 18. Oh, did I skip a card? I did not. Okay, so we have 17 and 18 Hunting Down Survivors. This is a 25k dual attacker, so this is a card you cannot play off of your leader effect or off the Android 20 effect. If you have 3 more energy and you choose 1 red 17 and 1 red 18 from your battle area and/or from under a destroyed West City in your battle area, play this card from your hand and then place the chosen card underneath it. Then when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or unison and it gets minus 25k for the turn. Pretty powerful. So this is also a 25k dual attacker. That's pretty solid. Nothing wrong with there. This card basically just gains the 17 and the 18 and you have to play it from underneath them. So just another way of being able to play this card out. Then we get to the boss monster, which is Domination Achieved. Very cool looking SPR art as well. This is a 30k double striker. You can play for 2. On 4 energy, if you have a 17 and an 18 from under a Z extra card in your battle area, you place those cards underneath it. You draw a card and then you play it. And then activate battle. If you play up to 1, you can play up to 117 and up to 118 with energy cost 3 or less from under this card and place this card in the drop. And when this card attacks, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 30k for the turn. So again, just more removal. So what's cool with this card is that you're going to tap 2, you're going to draw a card, you're going to swing 30k, you're going to neg something by 30k, you're going to swing 30k double striker. Then you can activate main, pop this card to then play 2 other cards. That's really, really cool. So this is a lot of pressure for 2 energy. Definitely makes this deck sort of a contender for being a good red deck. I would say the downside to this deck is we don't have a ton of just red generic support for androids. We have Android 13, which has kind of its own leg of support, and now we have this deck. So we need some better just android support. Being a non-Saiyan leader that's in red is just not very good. You can't play a lot of the cards in the format, and a lot of stuff is being. And like there are a lot of the good red cards are like the red staples are going to be Saiyans, and you don't search Saiyans out. You don't really have any synergy with Saiyans other than them just being good cards. So you're limited on what you can actually play. So I definitely don't think this deck is going to be better than the other red deck that we're going to go over when it comes to just the scale of the meta. But I definitely think we could see this deck potentially do well at least. I definitely think it's like a tier 2. Red deck, definitely better than some of the red decks we have currently in the game. I would kind of put it in the same category of something like Jiren or something like that. So now we're going to go over the archetype itself as a deck and show you guys what I came up with. Obviously use these as a form of a template, if you will, for when you build the deck. Don't take this just as like this is the best build ever, but just take it as this is a good structure I can use, and I can pull cards out and put my own tech pieces or my own opinions in there as well. So, and since if you've watched this part of the video, you're probably going to watch the rest. Definitely try to subscribe and like the video if you do like the content here. So make sure you do that. And then we're going to go right into the deck profile and see what we came up with. Okay, so we have the deck here. I believe we're at 50 cards, if not 51 cards. I try to keep it pretty close to the cuff with this. So again, we have the leaders here. And we'll go through what we got. So we got 3 each of the 2 Android 20 cards. They're free plays. You can't multiplay them in the same turn, but just having, I think, access to both is going to be good. You're definitely going to want to run at least, like I said, between 6 and 8 of these. So like 8 obviously would just be max. 6 I think is pretty fair. We have 3 Infinite Rotation 17s. This is one of the cards from the set. And it kind of spoiled a little spice here, which is going to be Android 7. It's going to be Android 18 Temporary Partner. So this is a cool card. This actually came out in the anniversary box, and I was looking for cards that weren't already in the archetype that potentially could work with the deck. And this is actually a very interesting card here. So Android 18 Temporary Partner. So this card has the ability of being played. It doesn't have any keyword skills, so it can be played off the leader and all that stuff. It's a 3-drop. the 10k. However, at the end of the turn when this card is comboed, you get to play it for 1 yellow. I'm sorry, not for 1 yellow, for 1 red. So you actually can combo this card and play this card out much earlier. But what's cool about this card is when it's played, you get to add up to 1 red skillless card from your deck to your hand. So there are skillless that come in the archetype, but I chose Android 18. This particular Android 18, which is a 30k. So you actually can play this from underneath the Android 20 Z Battle card or your leader, and also playing this card from underneath Domination, the Giant 8-drop. This is a 30k body you can play for free. No keyword skills. I think this is pretty cool, right? If you play it off your leader against barriers, it's a 30k barrier. It's just a giant body, right? But having this particular card just allows you to draw this card from your deck. So basically this card is a free play or a 1-drop that draws you a card. And then also you can use it to spam out the 17s as well too. So and obviously then I have 2 infinite rotations, still have 2 of those, but we cut it down from 3 to 2. So we have room for this 18 card here. I don't know how good the 18 card is, but it actually looks pretty cool on paper. So that's why I put it in the deck. 3 of the perpetual motion machines just for space purposes. If you cut this temporary partner skillless engine, you probably would run 4 of this card. You can probably still run 4 of this card. You might be able to cut down on these cards here because these cards are just not as good, just being 15Ks. So there's that as well. 2 of the 16s, I thought it was still useful to run in the deck. Not a crazy, like again, as I said, not a crazy, spice tech card. It doesn't do a ton. But being able to put one of these guys underneath after you swing it for 15k, I think it's pretty good value. So we're just going to definitely keep 2 in the deck. 4, hunting down survivors, your big 1-drop 25k dual attacker. I think this is obviously safe to say this is probably one of your better 1-drops you're going to play in the deck. So that's why we put 4 in there. 3 of the big 8-drop. After you awaken, this card is no longer searchable. You can't search it off the 1-drop 20, so like I think 3 is fine. 4, but you can only play this card past turn 4. You can't play it off your leader effect because it has a keyword skill, so I think 4 is a little too much. I think 3 is fine for space-wise, and again, this activate main makes this card very deadly, right? You can play like this guy and a 30k, so you play a 19k double striker that withdraws you a card and a 30k body. It's pretty cool. I also do think there is I think there's an Android 17. I didn't check. I think there's Android 17. That's a 30k body. If there is, you can also play that one as well. There also is a 20k. 20k is not as good. If there is a 30k body, definitely play the 30k body as well. I would probably do like a split between both of these skills cards. We have Android 20 Inherited Evil. Pretty cool. So this is a if you have 2 or more Z Energy, a Z Leader, or Z Battle card, you get to draw 1 and combo with it. It's searchable, which I thought was pretty cool. I think searchable super combos are definitely always good to look at first. And then obviously if it doesn't work, you always should just go back to the Tuck 1 draw 2, which would be the Raditz, but it's not searchable. So that's why we didn't want to run it. 3 of the Gamma 1 and 2. This card's crazy. So for one, this is a Android. So you can search it off of the leader and off of the 20 search effect. So the red ribbon part, none of these cards are red ribbon except for this card you've seen so far, is you can't use the 5k power boost for the turn. However, activate battle if your leader's red and your opponent has 3 more energy. You draw 1, play this card, and choose one of your red cards, and it gets 10k for the battle. So you can use this as just a 1-drop cantrip that will give your leader something 10k. I think it's pretty solid. So definitely something you want to run, and searchable. So it's good. 2, Cell Max. Again, another Android. You can search it off the front side of the leader. And then it's a 1-drop. That's a 25k body. It's going to swing once, restand itself. It can also block twice, and if it dies, you can pop something that's 30k or less. I think it's pretty solid. It's a good little tech piece. So we have 2 testing the ops for defense. 4, Explosive Dance. I did not show this card off because this is going to be in the Gohan video, but this negate is probably what's going to bring red back into the format. Unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with red now. So this card is going to be really, really crazy. So if your life's at 4 or less, you negate the attack. I mean, sorry, it just negates anyways. But then additionally, if your life is at 4 or less and you have a Z extra card in your battle area, which you're going to, when your opponent attacks with a non-leader during that turn, they must place any number of their Z extra cards in their drop, their Z energy cards in their drop, so that the total value of those cards' power becomes greater than or equal to X, where X is the power of the attacking card. So to my knowledge how this works, if you attack with a 30k, you have to pitch cards in your Z energy that have over 20k power. So if you have a 15k and a 10k in your Z energy, you have to pitch 2 cards to swing with the 20k battle card. If it's 30, you got to with 30. If it's 40, so this card can actually eat away at your Z energy. And if you don't have the Z energy to swing, you can't swing with non-leaders. So this is crazy. This is basically the uneasing awakening of red. Now, it's disgusting. So this card's going to definitely put red back in the format. It's just good for any red leader, and you just need a Z extra in your battle area, which both this and the new Gohan deck both run them. Every deck has access to a Z energy. I mean, a Z extra card because of the anniversary box. So this card's going to be crazy. If you're wanting to play red next set, if you didn't buy all the red staples now, you're out of luck. This card's probably going to be a $15 to $20 card when it comes out because it also did not get an SPR reprint. So fantastic, right? So we got to deal with this. So, but yeah, definitely going to run 4 of this card in any red deck that plays as the extra card. You're probably going to just run 4 of them in there. We have 2 Sun Gohan defeating the demon. I just needed some space for some extra tech. I put 2 Gohans in there. You probably won't even play this card. You'll probably end up cutting it. But I thought it was pretty cool just to have. It works with Z extra cards that are in your battle area as well. So for the Z extra cost of those cards, if we remember, I believe XL so XL is a 3 cost, while the Z extra card, the West Destroyed City, is a 6 cost. It's only reduced, I believe. We'll check in a second, but I'm pretty sure it's only reduced with. I'm sorry, it's a 1 cost. Yeah, okay, so that makes more sense. So that will automatically reduce this by 1. If you have Excel Dance in play, it reduces it by 3. So this card alone will actually make your Z Gohan actually cost basically 1. So, pretty cool. We have 1 Overrealm. I just picked Fighting Spirit. It's and this art's fantastic. It's kind of like a red hint to it. Probably you're going to play at least 1 Overrealm in the deck, right? And then secret rare I chose was Supreme Kai. This card has not been in play in a really long time. Problem is you have to run. You don't have a lot of options. You can't play Vegito because you need to be a Red Saiyan leader. You're not going to play the Frieza SCR because it's 5 cost. Vegeta is cool. Super Saiyan Blue Unbridled Power is cool. It's a 4 cost, but that's 4 energy. Like, unless you're burning your opponent, it's just not the. I don't. You have to respect it, but like for 4 energy, that's a lot. So we needed something that we can play for really cheap. You can also play Pan. I think Pan's also an option. But this card is a 1-drop. Stops your opponent's leaders in unisons for attacking for the turn, which is not an awful effect. And you also can tap 1 to warp your entire opponent's board and their unison. And it's a 40k body for 1 energy. So, like, that's not, like, those are all very good things to have, especially in a red deck like this. So, I would say this might be one of the better secret rares to try out. Also, Pan is another good option as well. I don't think you spam out the board a ton. Like, you're going to have turns where you go really wide, but I think generally you're probably not going to go super wide. So, I think Kai's definitely a good secret rare to try to play in this deck. Now, we saw some of the Z deck already. Obviously, 1 Destroyed West City and 1 XL Dance. You don't need to run any more than that. We have 2 of the Android Creating Evil. We have 1 Android 14 and 15. This is from the old Android 13 deck. If you have a red Android card then it costs 7 or more in play, you reduce this energy cost in your Z deck by 1. So it becomes a 1 cost for 3 Z energy, which is a lot. But we have the 8 cost, so we can reduce it. And when this card attacks, you combo with an Android with skills negated, and then it gains barrier until the end of your opponent's next turn. It is a dual attacker, so it's a 15k with deflect, dual attack and blocker. So if as long as it doesn't die when it comes into play, it's going to gain barrier. And then this card also you can restand it, and then it gains whenever you activate blocker, you restand it. So it's like a dual attack blocker. So that's cool. And then we have 2 of the Rush Attack Vegeta. This is probably the best Z battle card you're going to play. If you're going to play a Z battle card for damage purposes, definitely going to play this one. This card's going to definitely come back into the format and wreak havoc on a lot of different decks. So that is the deck. We are at 50. Yeah, we're at 51. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, smash the like button. Let me know what you guys think. If I made any mistakes, let me know down in the comments below. And I will see you guys in the next video.